Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a close look at the incredibly complex and critical situation in Gaza. We've sifted through a whole lot of sources, latest reports, deeper analyses, and our mission, really, is simple. We want to give you that shortcut to being properly informed, maybe show you some key insights, some connections you might have missed.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. When we look at Gaza, the first thing, it just hits you the profound human impact. It's a crisis on a scale that's, well, hard to comprehend.
That's exactly right. The human cost is just staggering. We're seeing reports detailing, a significant number of Palestinian deaths, and many, tragically, among people just waiting for aid. The overall casualty figures are now well over 80,000.
80,000.
Yeah. And what's particularly awful is how many women and children are among them. It really highlights the nature of this conflict in such a densely populated area.
So it's not just the fighting itself, but the sheer day-to-day struggle for survival that's so immense. What does that actually look like on the ground?
It's incredibly dire. Most people in Gaza are displaced. They're facing severe shortages of pretty much everything.
Yep.
Food, clean water, medical supplies. You hear the term famine is imminent. That's not just a forecast. It means huge numbers of people are right on the edge facing catastrophic hunger. People face, well, deadly challenges, is how one report put it, just to get basic food and water, especially with the heat.
Gosh.
Yeah, there was one story, a woman spending 6 hours in the sun just to fill one bucket with brackish, basically unsafe water.
And getting help in the aid delivers, that seems like a huge challenge too. And there are some very serious accusations flying around now.
It is a massive challenge. Aid entry and distribution face severe obstacles. You've got complex checkpoints, damaged roads, active fighting. It slows everything down sometimes for weeks.
Right.
And yes, the accusations are serious. Amnesty International has accused Israel and sort of the aid system itself of using starvation as a method of genocide in Gaza. Plus, we're seeing reports of U.S. contractors allegedly firing live ammunition at Palestinians trying to get food. It paints a picture of real desperation and chaos.
Okay, so that immense human suffering is one side, but it's all tangled up with the military situation and the diplomatic efforts, right? What's happening there?
Well, the military conflict between Israel and Hamas, that's been ongoing since October 7th, 2023. Relentless, really. Just recently, the Israeli military recovered the remains of 3 more hostages from Gaza. It's a constant grim reminder of how this phase started. Israel's stated aims are still focused on dismantling Hamas capabilities. Hamas, meanwhile, is trying to get leverage for, a permanent ceasefire, prisoner exchanges.
And those ceasefire talks, any real signs of progress, or is it still stuck?
Well, it's complicated. President Trump recently said a deal is closer, that Israel has agreed to terms.
Okay.
But, and this is key, there's been no immediate confirmation from Hamas. And you have to ask why it's stuck. Despite these statements, the core issues, things like a permanent ceasefire versus just a pause, and ending the blockade on Gaza, these seem to be kind of non-negotiable points for each side.
So fundamental disagreements.
Exactly. Deep structural issues that make a lasting deal really difficult beyond maybe temporary truces.
And this whole struggle, it's not happening in a bubble, is it? It's sending ripples across the entire region.
Oh, absolutely. This conflict has seriously intensified tensions across the Middle East, maybe more than previous rounds. We're seeing direct consequences, like the Houthi attacks on shipping in the Red Sea that affects global trade.
Right, we've all felt that.
Yeah. And more indirect, but still dangerous, confrontations between Israel and Iran. At the same time, there's also been a really worrying rise in violence against Palestinians, and settler attacks over the West Bank just adds more instability.
So if we step back and connect all these threads, what does this tell us about the bigger picture, the long-term view?
Well, what's happening now is deeply rooted in the decades-long Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It's this incredibly complex mix of territory, politics, national identity. This isn't just some localized fight. It's scale of the humanitarian crisis, the regional impact that demands global attention. And the international community, has been pretty united in calling for an immediate ceasefire and for humanitarian aid to get through unimpeded.
Right. So just to kind of pull it together, we've looked at the immense human cost, the really complex military and political moves, and these much wider regional shockwaves. It's a lot to take in.
It is. And understanding how all these pieces connect, the history, the current crisis, the regional dynamics, that's really crucial to getting the full picture. You can't just isolate one part.
Yeah, definitely. So here's something to maybe leave you thinking about. How do these really deep-rooted historical conflicts, like the one in Gaza, actually shape global stability and the future of international relations? Even in places that seem really far away, it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many threads from conflicts like this are subtly woven into our own lives, maybe without us even realizing it?